Josh says that if we have kids, if the kid buys a toy, Josh will always buy a second toy for himself to keep pristine in the packaging.
I thought it was going to be because he would want to play with it, and I'm like, Josh doesn't know how to do sharing?
No, because he's a collector. He's about his favorite show is the show that was on, oh god, I forget what channel, but it was called Toy Hunter, and it was basically like American Pickers, but the guy would just find vintage toys, and Josh is obsessed. He's so obsessed with it, and it's like lost media now, because it used to be on Discovery Plus, and then now it's just like nowhere. I've actually thought about like hitting up the guy on Instagram and being like, hey, do you have like a DVD anywhere of the episodes? Like, I will pay for it for you. My autistic husband loves your show. Because it only had like 2 seasons. And when it was on Discovery Plus, Josh watched those 2 seasons on repeat.
What's the name of the show?
Toy Hunter.
Go to my little website that I like.
Yeah, 3 seasons in 2012.
It looks like you can buy it on Amazon and Apple TV.
When I just looked it up now, allegedly it says it's on Max, so I'll have to check that later.
Yeah.
He's gonna be fucking ecstatic if he comes home and Toy Hunter is on TV.
I think you can acquire this.
Okay. Because for a while, when I would look it up, there wasn't even an option to buy it. That said, I don't want to buy probably, fucking $5 an episode or whatever.
It does look like there are DVDs.
That to me is crazy, that we spent time and energy making DVDs of a Travel Channel show.
Yeah. Well, I think they just, made DVDs of everything. Me being like, I don't remember 10 years ago when we still bought DVDs. Yeah, there's reviews been on Amazon. It says the DVDs are not in high definition, but are all still great to have and infinitely watchable.
He loves it.
Yeah.
Speaking of being infinitely watchable, welcome to Informed Attraction, a podcast hosted by 2 orange cats about the many crimes of Chris Hemsworth.
You think we're orange cats?
For the sake of this episode, we are 2 Would you rather be an orange cat or a bird?
Oh, do I think I'm more orange cat-like or more bird-like? What bird are we talking?
Toucan Sam.
Ooh. Do I think I have Toucan Sam energy? Who's the orange cat?
We got 2. We have Tony the Tiger and Chester Cheetah.
You told me we were talking about girls this week.
No, I told you this week is hot animals, and next week is M&Ms, and then the week after that is women.
Oh, so you're just spoiling the rest of the weeks for me now?
Yes!
Oh, I'll be honest, when you said hot animals, I assumed they were women.
Oh? That's your own bias speaking.
That is my own bias speaking. So wait, sorry, my options are Tony the Tiger, Toucan Sam, and what?
Chester Cheetah.
I think of those, I am the most like Toucan Sam. I think we're both the most like Toucan Sam. Well, no, you have a real Chester Cheeto energy about you.
I am like Chester Cheetah. I was watching some old Cheetos commercials, and I was like, damn, I don't know if I am him or if I want to fuck him.
Oh, boy. Scary stuff.
So in today's episode, we'll be talking about hot animals. I want to be really clear. This is an endorsement of me wanting to have sex with real-life animals. I am pro-bestiality, and this is a
I'm gonna have to cut this entire episode, maybe. We'll find out later. This episode ends up being like 3 minutes long.
We just cut here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, that's a soundbite that I think everyone should use in earnest and understand that I was using no irony there. Just like when I said Brian the dog is hot on TikTok, and people really thought that I want to have sex with real-life dogs, like my dog Butters, who I definitely have sex with and don't view as a child who I birthed and would like to breastfeed.
I don't know what the sensation that's happening in my body is. I don't know that I can name my feelings right now.
Where are you on the feelings wheel?
Bad. I'm at bad. I'm at bad feelings.
Dread, perhaps?
Yeah. I'm having an emotional moment as it is, and so now I am having a more emotional moment in a different direction.
I have been having a negative emotional, past few days, and I am now suddenly hyped. I'm manic over this.
Oh.
So I realized when making my list of hot mascots that one category was just animals. So maybe I've been a furry this whole time. maybe this whole podcast is just me coming around to just embracing my furry status.
Aubrey's journey to being a furry. Well, I mean, I think that's part of the whole thing. Is that like a whole thesis I have is that people love to dunk on furries, but then we'll say shit like, "I want to fuck Lola Bunny," and it's like, what is the difference to you? And I get if you don't want to like be in a fursuit, that's like a difference. But like, if we're considering furrydom a spectrum, would not wanting to fuck Lola Bunny fall upon the spectrum of furrydom?
I'm also going to do a little segue into the food system today and advertising that's geared toward children, because I think that that's relevant as we're talking about advertising and especially advertising in food.
And are you going to define for me what you mean by the food system?
Yeah, so like by the food system, I mean like the processes and infrastructure involved in feeding a group of people, like a population or community. So stuff like, honestly, I probably could have stretched out an entire episode about the food system when it comes to stuff like growing and harvesting, processing, transporting, marketing, consumption. It's going to be much more broad than that, but basically the point that I want to get at is that today I'm going to be talking about mascots for like cereal and snack food brands, and there's a big camp of people who are like, hey, having like cartoon cool mascots for these types of foods is bad. I don't know how much I agree with that, but I think that it opens up an interesting conversation about like food and advertising and like why we're drawing this line about this in advertising, but not about other forms of potentially exploitative advertising to children.
Yeah, I mean, every kid I know is just on YouTube Kids now, which has ads, I'm pretty sure. And if it doesn't, sorry. But like when I go click on kids content that I made, it gives me an ad. So I don't know. I don't know. I'll say obviously advertising is way worse now and kids are being affected by much more of it, but I don't think my life is worse because Tony the Tiger existed when I was 7 years old.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I end up landing too. So, food is something that I think is inherently political. I find the politics around food very fascinating. So, like, we have things like the environmental impact of our food systems, the fact that, like, 4 companies own most of the food in grocery stores, the fact that grocery stores themselves are monopolies, I think is problematic. However, I'm aware that once you start talking about stuff like this, it really quickly starts to go down that, like, trad wife, return to farm type of rhetoric that's becoming increasingly popular. And I just feel that sometimes the conversation around food and food systems lacks nuance, because I feel like it's literally, you're either in camp, seed oils give kids autism, or you're like, there's no problems with the food system and it's all in your head. And I think the reality is somewhere in the middle, where I think there are absolutely issues with food systems in the United States, but I also don't think that, like, eating Frosted Flakes is going to kill you.
Yeah. This gets into the whole, like, ultra-processed food conversation that it just, there's so much weirdness around food, and obviously there's so much weirdness around food could be the slogan of Aubrey's entire career path.
Yeah.
I think I'm good, even though I had Lucky Charms as a child.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't think that was the thing I don't think that's what did me in about food, or was like the worst thing I ate as a child.
Right. Well, and like thinking about, like, you have tummy issues, and it's like, I don't think that you have tummy issues because you ate Lucky Charms, but eating certain foods also makes your body feel bad, like, objectively.
Yeah.
And I think that I don't know. I just think that it's such a personalized thing about how and what individual people should be consuming that it's really hard to paint, like, broad strokes. I do think there is, like, legitimate skepticism that some people have about, like, certain pesticides or, like, certain ingredients that are in some foods. But again, that also gets into that, like, weird territory of, like, well, like, what is wrong with this ingredient, and like what is the empirical evidence supporting that this is something that is, reasonably risky for a certain amount of the population.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is a podcast about how sometimes animals are hot. So so because 3 is the magic number, we're going to be talking about 2 cats and a bird, Tony the tiger, Chester Cheetah, and Toucan Sam.
I know that it's Chester Cheetah, but it is fucking me up for you to say Chester Cheetah.
I know.
Like, why? I get why his name wouldn't be Chester Cheetah, but it is like, fuck.
I think it's more fucked up that his last name is Cheetah. Like, what if your name was Mackenna Human?
That'd be fine, I think.
I think that's odd. I would feel uncomfortable with that.
Sorry to anyone out there whose last name is Human.
If your name is Human, shoot us an email at informedattraction@gmail.com, and I will issue a personal apology.
I mean, there's people whose last name is like Man, like Leslie Mann.
I'm talking about human. I'm talking about Homo sapiens.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. I don't know that I think there's anyone whose last name is Homo sapiens, plural.
So, we're going to get into this by talking about Tony the Tiger. So, Tony the Tiger is a cartoon anthropomorphic tiger mascot for the Frosted Flakes cereal brand, also known as Frosties if you're overseas, and he appears on the packaging and advertising for Frosted Flakes. Frosted Flakes are sugar-coated cornflakes, and I do love them. I actually think that they are in my top 3 favorite cereals. Mackenna, with no prompting, what are your top 3 cereals?
Oh, someone asked me something similar to this recently, actually. I really like the cinnamon rice Chex.
Okay.
I like Honey Nut Cheerios, and it's hard. I'm having a hard time picking between Lucky Charms and Rice Krispies.
Those are, like, very elderly cereal choices, I feel.
Why are they elderly?
I feel like that's, like, what, like, Grandpa's like, is, like, Chex cereal and Cheerios. I mean... What did you want
me to say?
Not that. Your opinions are wrong.
I'm feeling very sensitive right now, Aubrey. Why are you tagging me for my cereal choices?
No, I think that is interesting. So I am somebody who really likes fruity cereal, so my favorite is Fruity Pebbles.
I don't like fruity cereal.
I love Fruity Pebbles, I love Frosted Flakes, and then I really like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I would argue that Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Cinnamon Chex are really, really similar.
I don't know why I'm dogging on you so much. I do like the texture of Chex.
Thank you.
Also,
you can do the same thing with Chex you can do with Rice Krispie, where you put a little bit of, this is the regular Chex. You would not do this with the cinnamon sugar Chex. With the regular Chex, you put a little bit of sugar on them, and then you put the milk in, and then at the end, you get to have the sugar milk at the end.
I like the frosted mini wheats. And
I love Frosted Mini Wheats!
And I feel like the commercials they had in the 2000s, those little guys...
Those are those freaky little guys.
They had an allure.
Oh, I don't... What? What? I disagree with they had an allure.
I don't know, they were kind of cute. They were a little freaky.
They're kind of like rabbits.
Yeah! I don't want to fuck rabbits, though. They're too animal-like. I draw the line at rabbit, but anthropomorphic cereal piece... I can get behind it.
Okay.
This is where I'll say that cereal in general tends to have very little nutritional value despite being considered part of a balanced breakfast. This is part of the issue that people have later where they're like, cereal mascots are designed to appeal to children, and then children want to eat cereal, and then they eat cereal, and that's bad for them. Which I still think is kind of a cuckoo bananas take, because it's the parents who are...
That's been your phrase today. I don't think I've ever heard you say cuckoo bananas before, and I think I've heard you say it like 4 times already today.
I'm really trying to limit the amount that I say, damn, that's crazy, because I do realize that working in, like, mental health stuff, I probably shouldn't be like, damn, that's crazy all the time. And nothing hits like a damn, that's crazy, but cuckoo bananas is close.
Yeah, totally. Sorry, I'm yawning.
I'm sorry I'm fucking boring you today.
No, my body feels weird.
Your body. I don't know what that was referencing. Your body is a wonderland, like John Mayer said.
Not today, it's not.
Tony the Tiger is also the mascot for related Frosted Flakes cereals, like Tony Cinnamon Crunchers and Tiger Power. There's a guy on TikTok. Are you plugged into Roll4 TikTok?
No?
Oh my god. Alright, so there's a guy on TikTok who does roll for sandwich, and basically he has his little D&D dice, and he rolls for what he's going to use for every ingredient in a sandwich. So like for bread, meat, cheese, extras, and sometimes they're really fucked up. And he got really popular, so then there's a bunch of spin-offs that other people have done, and most of them are not very good because they're dick riders. But the exception to that is the guy who does Roll for Cereal, who is this guy who's had a like cereal-based social media account for many years, where he just like talks about cereal because he's a big cereal fan. And every Friday he does Roll for Cereal. So he rolls for the bowl, he rolls for what cereals, he rolls for toppings, he rolls for a little syrup he puts in, he rolls for a milk. And I love him.
I love that for you.
We watch it.
I'm not on TikTok right now, so I'm not really tuned into anything that happened on TikTok after like 7 months ago.
Roll for Sandwich uploads on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and so every night that's me and Josh's thing before bed is we watch our Roll 4s.
That's nice.
And then Friday is special because we also get to watch Serial. And then there's a guy who does Roll for Barbecue, and Josh finds him a little bit obnoxious, but he will tolerate it so that we can watch 3 on Fridays. So, Tony the Tiger debuted in 1952, and he has become a breakfast cereal icon. He was created by Eugene Kolke, who was an accomplished graphics artist and art director. Frosted Flakes had other mascots, including Katie the Kangaroo, Elmo the Elephant, and Newt the New. However,
Newt the New?
I think a GNU.
I know what a new is.
Mm-hmm.
That's a terrible cereal mascot.
Exactly. The only one that ever got to be on a box other than Tony the Tiger was Katie the Kangaroo, and then within the year, they dropped all of the ones that weren't Tony the Tiger.
I also thought you were going to say Newt the Newt, and that I would have really enjoyed.
Newt the yeah, anyway. What would be the worst animal to have on a cereal box?
Something that would make me not want to eat what was inside of the box. So I don't.
Armadillo?
No.
Really?
Like a little Southwest, like if it was like little cactus shaped.
Alright, that's cute as hell.
An armadillo would be good. I don't know. Something like a new is actually quite bad.
I gotta look up what a new is. I'm assuming it's a little bird.
It's like a yak.
Oh.
Am I right? I think I'm right.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, you're right. That is a terrible mascot. Why would you want that on cereal?
Yeah, it's just like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to think about, because it would either be like really scary or really gross. But like, you can really cartoonify anything and make it cute. I don't know. What would be the worst cereal mascot?
I don't know. Are there any racist
Maybe like
animals?
No, I don't. Your dog.
Butters?
Maybe like, I feel like if I saw a cereal box with just like a straight up trash can on it, that wouldn't make me want to eat it.
I feel like a spider. A spider, I think, would be a bad mascot.
I would eat like a spooky little spider cereal.
I know.
I like spiders. A cockroach. A fucking cockroach. Yeah, I mean, if I saw a box there with a cockroach on it, I'd be like, no, absolutely not.
You don't want roaches? Roaches, cinnamon dusted logs? I don't know.
No, like it's somehow like a cockroach is somehow like worse to me than like a dung beetle. Like a cockroach is like the worst one.
Yeah, they're gross.
A rat would be bad unless it was specifically Remy the rat.
Oh, I mean, like Mickey Mouse. I mean, there's plenty.
That's a mouse.
Big difference.
Huge difference. Literally in size, there's a big difference.
I did see those rats in New York, and they were scary.
I'm a defender of the rats. When I'm in like a backyard at a restaurant here and a rat runs through, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's where he lives. But I don't know that I think a rat would be an appealing mascot. I mean, I guess like, yeah, it just would not be an appealing mascot for a cereal, in my opinion.
Is there like a pizza rat? Is that like a thing on something? I feel like I can hear the name Pizza Rat in my head. Pizza
Rat is a thing because there was that meme of a rat carrying a really large piece of pizza.
That's what I was thinking of because in my brain I was thinking there was a rat mascot. Why can't I stop thinking about Pizza Rat? Because that was probably a meme in 2015 if I had to guess.
Chuck E. Cheese is a mouse, right? Or is he a rat?
You mean Charles Entertainment Cheese?
Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese, the name that he prefers to go by.
I just like to use his legal name.
Mm.
Let's see. He's an orphan who never had his own birthday.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, that's his lore, is that he is an orphan who never had his own birthday, and that's why he holds birthdays for other people.
I wrote Cuck instead of Chuck, so I almost just wrote in Cuck cheese.
He was a rat until 1992, and then he became a mouse.
Oh, they literally was like, we cannot have a rat for our mascot and change it to a mouse. That's so funny.
I mean, he's kind of pizza rat, too.
Yeah, he literally was a pizza rat because it was like a pizza place.
What?
Chuck E. Cheese bought Peter Piper Pizza.
Oh, okay.
For those who don't know, because I didn't realize that Peter Piper Pizza was only a Southwest thing until recently. So Peter Piper Pizza is basically Chuck E. Cheese, but just in like Arizona, California, New Mexico, and maybe Texas. And I did not realize that 10 years ago they had been bought by Chuck E. Cheese. So it's like, what's even the point? They're the same thing now.
Yeah. Can't afford the animatronics.
Yeah, there were no animatronics at Peter Piper Pizza.
I doubt they have animatronics now.
I actually don't think I've ever been to a Chuck E. Cheese that had animatronics.
When I was a little kid, I remember.
I don't know. We didn't go very much.
So in 1953, Tony was given a son, Tony Jr.
What?
Daddy?
Tony Jr. of Tony the Tiger.
There's a whole Tony family I'm going to get into.
Oh, I have seen Tony Jr.
So, the original Tony the Tiger was much more tiger-like in shape, and he was sometimes depicted walking on all fours. He wore his little handkerchief around his neck, and he had more of a football-shaped head. Over time, he became more of the Jim Daddy that we know today. So, they wanted a recognizable and distinct voice for voicing the Tony the Tiger character in commercials. Initially, he was voiced by the actor Dallas Mackenna, but shortly after the initial Frosted Flakes ads aired, Mackenna was replaced by Thurl Ravenscroft, who spent the next 5 decades providing the characteristic deep voice associated with the character, notably that familiar "They're great" catchphrase.
They're great.
That was pretty good.
Thanks. Thurl Ravenscroft is a crazy name.
Yeah, he came up with that phrase himself. I found such a fun quote from him about how he created the Tony the Tiger, persona. So, you know what? Because you did such a great job with that Tony the Tiger impression, I'm going to send you a quote, and you're going to have to do it before a whole quote.
No, I don't know that I can do that. Also, he did the You're the Mean One, Mr. Grinch song.
Oh, yeah!
The Grinch used to give me nightmares as a child, so I don't really like the Grinch. I made Tony a person. For me, Tony was real. I made him become a human being, and that affected the animation and everything.
I
sounded like in Friends when Ross is the Hanukkah armadillo.
Very true. I have not watched the Hanukkah armadillo. Actually, I have. I think I have seen that episode. Anyway, I love commercial actors. It reminds me of the guy who did the fucking toilet paper ads we were just talking about 2 episodes ago. And
Mr. Willie, Mr. Bundles,
Mr.
Toilet, Mr. Charmin Man.
What is his name? Let's see.
Mr. Charmin Toilet Paper Guy.
Mr. Whipple.
Mr. Whipple.
Yeah, it reminds me of
my first guess. I don't think my first guess was that far off.
Now I don't remember. Anyway, Thurl Ravenscroft died in 2005, and he was replaced then
as a transition.
Well, I mean, death comes for us all, and we can't always predict when it's going to happen. Anyway, he was replaced in 2005 by announcer Lee Marshall, who maintained the role until he died in 2014. Now he's voiced by a guy named Tex Brashear.
What? I feel like every name you've said so far this episode has been crazy. Didn't you say the first guy's name was Dallas something?
Yeah.
So we've had Dallas something, Thurl Ravenscroft, and now Tex
Brashear.
None of these are real people. These are the kinds of things that make me convinced that I'm the only person alive and everyone else only exists when they're near me, and that as I'm getting older, the universe is running out of fake names to keep inventing new people.
Mhm.
And so now we're getting shit like Thurl Ravenscroft.
Yeah, simulation's broken. Pretty soon you're going to just start seeing red Honda Civics everywhere.
Okay, great.
So Tony started to get humanized in the 1970s. So to do that, he was given an Italian-American nationality, and consumers were briefly introduced to more of Tony's family, including Mama Tony, Mrs. Tony, and a daughter, Antoinette.
Sorry, Tony the Tiger is canonically Italian?
Yeah, can you do your best, like, New York Italian?
Hold on, I gotta, wait, give me a second. They took a tiger, and they were like, we're not gonna do any sort of education about, like, parts of Asia where tigers live. No, we're gonna make the motherfucker Italian?
It's the 70s.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We didn't know Asian people existed in the 70s.
No.
Actually, it would have been a really bad racist caricature had he been made any nationality of Asian in the 70s, so probably good that he was Italian, honestly.
Is Tony the Tiger Asian?
No, but tigers are.
No, I know, but, like, if we were ascribing a race to Tony the Tiger, then would he be Asian?
I don't know.
Like, if we were making a human version of Tony the Tiger, would he just be a buff-ass Asian guy? Who also has a New York Italian accent?
I guess.
That's fucking awesome. If you're a buff Asian man with an Italian accent, or specifically a New York Italian American accent, please send us a video at informedattraction@gmail.com.
Can I ask you why you were requesting those?
Because that's real life Tony the Tiger.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
This is why I should be put in charge of marketing.
Uh-huh.
Tony the Tiger, and here's the thing, him being branded as Italian American was actually popular with people because in 1970... Tony! They put him on the cover of Italian GQ. Let me see if I can...
Yeah, what's up? I'm Tony the Tiger. I'm here on the cover of Italian GQ.
I love it.
Everyone is mad at me because I was way more Jersey than it was New York.
That's fine. Yeah, that's the thing. So, yeah, just so everybody knows, Tony the Tiger's got a big Italian family. I couldn't find the picture of the Italian GQ, but hey, you know, internet told me that it's true, so...
Italian GQ, Tony the Tiger. Oh, yeah. Tony the Tiger has a big Italian family. Oh, well, good for Tony. What a king.
So Tony was so popular during the 1970s with his big Italian family that in 1975, Tony Jr. got his own short-lived cereal, Frosted Rice, which I imagine is just Rice Krispie treats. Or Rice Krispies. So the original design for Tony changed over the years, so he started off as this more like whimsical, like actual tiger type of animal, and then over time was replaced by this like, you know, upright, muscular, sports enthusiast body. And that's what I think is interesting as you kind of go through watching different Frosted Flakes commercials, as I did, is that as you get into like 80s, 90s, 2000s, you start to see Tony the Tiger as an animated character in the live action world, usually like rotoscoped over like a live character doing stuff like, you know, skateboarding or surfing or like other kinds of extreme sports. In 2022, he made his debut as a VTuber on Twitch. I thought you'd like that, because you like Twitch people.
He would... I didn't know that brands... I guess it's not surprising me that brands are doing, like, Twitch stuff, but... Do you know what he did on Twitch?
I looked at...
Was he playing Overwatch?
I know he was playing a game with a few other, like, Twitch streamers. I don't know if the channel is still active. I just thought it was a fun fact.
Well, I gotta know now, because what if he was playing Among Us, you know?
2022, he very well could have. I was playing Among Us.
Can you imagine?
What?
Can you imagine playing Among Us and you have to kill Tony the Tiger?
God. Me killing Tony the Tiger in the class.
Or if you're, like, if you were playing, or you're, like, playing CSGO and you have to shoot Tony the Tiger.
No.
Oh. He did not actually play. The other streamers were playing Fall Guys, but he didn't actually play with them. L loser, fake gamer. Tony the Tiger's a fake gamer.
So what, he was just watching them play?
I guess.
He's a bitch. So, I've long said that I think Tony the Tiger is the Chris Hemsworth of furries, because that is a cisgender man. He goes to the gym. He drinks his protein shakes. Like, I just feel like, to me, someone who is truly heterosexual as a woman is someone who's like, Chris Hemsworth is so hot. He's my celebrity crush. That's a straight woman. That's a woman with, what is it? Like, on one side of the Kinsey scale firmly. And I think that, I think Tony the Tiger is the Chris Hemsworth of furries, where if you're a furry and you're like, oh, Tony the Tiger is the one who I'm attracted to, it's very basic. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they do draw him like that, though.
Yeah.
Like, they made that tiger... Well, I don't know that I think okay, what I think is he didn't used to look like that. He used to look like a tiger, and then they made him a big buff man for some reason, and I don't understand. He's got a Dorito body.
Isn't there also a big buff tiger in Zootopia who everyone wants to fuck?
It's that one guy in that one scene, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's hot.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like it. He's reading his little book on the subway or whatever.
Yes.
Still have not seen Zootopia. I was given Disney
The second one is coming out this year. It's probably out by the time this episode releases.
Hey! So, where I think that, there's sort of a dichotomy of jock. I don't know. I would say that there's like a jock, like stoner type of dichotomy. And Tony the Tiger is on the jock side. And I think when we flip that coin around and we see who comes out on top, we're met with Chester Cheetah. So, Chester Cheetah is a fictional character and the official mascot for Frito-Lay's Cheetos brand snacks, as well as Chester's Snacks, which consist of flavored fries, popcorn, and puffcorn. I fucking love the Cheetos puffcorn. It costs like $1.99, and I can eat the entire bag at once.
Cheetos puffcorn. Do I know what that is?
It's so good.
Cheetos puffcorn. Do I know what that is? I shouldn't talk with something in my mouth when I'm recording. Oh, I've seen this before. You know what's funny? This is gonna sound so bad. Because it's called Chester's puffcorn, I always thought it was like a knockoff of Cheetos. I didn't realize it was like Cheetos branded stuff.
Yeah, it's legit. It's in the family.
I did not know that.
What are your top 3 chips? So I can dog on them for no reason.
Okay, do you want like specific or just types?
Just like types.
Okay, I like barbecue chips.
Oh no, do like brands.
Oh, okay. I like the Kettle brand barbecue chips.
Okay.
I like the Trader Joe's salt and pepper chips. And I don't know.
I'm gonna shoot you in the head unless you name a third chip you like.
The nacho cheese Doritos.
I love nacho cheese Doritos.
I think it's those ones.
You're under duress. You are recording this against your will today. You are on the verge of tears. You look battered, legitimately. You look like you have been hit by someone who you thought loved you.
I got a really stressful text message right before Aubrey knows it. I got a text message that really stressed me out right before we started recording, and I'm doing my best, but I'm having a really hard time. And now Aubrey said that my cereal flavors are bad, and also she made a face on the Zoom when I said Trader Joe's salt and pepper chips, so now I'm nervous.
Well, no, you have exquisite taste. I've got white trash taste, because my favorite, I like Cheetos and Doritos and Sun Chips.
Oh, I like Sun Chips. I don't think Sun Chips is white trash.
No, Sun Chips are fine.
What Sun Chips do you like?
I love the cheddar Sun Chips.
I also really like the cheddar Sun Chips. We used to have those a lot in my house growing up.
I love my favorite is always, like, cheesy chips. Like, I love Cheetos, I love nacho cheese Doritos, I love cheddar Sun Chips. I don't really gravitate to, like, other types of chips. Like, I like barbecue chips, I like sour cream and onion, but I like to keep it cheesy.
I like sour cream and onion chips. I just feel like if I eat more than, like, that's a type of chip that, like, if I eat more than, like, a few, then I feel, like, in my mouth.
That's how I am with salt and vinegar chips. I can have, like, 4 salt and vinegar chips and I'm good.
I don't like salt and vinegar chips at all.
Yeah. So Cheetos' original mascot was the Cheetos mouse, who not a Cheetos rat, a Cheetos mouse, who debuted in 1971 and disappeared around 1979.
He got eaten by Chester Cheetah.
Quite possibly.
I mean, he's a cat. There's a mouse.
Yeah.
Probably ate it.
I mean, that feels like you're making a lot of assumptions, and that feels like stereotyping.
I have a cat. Okay, you're right.
Has Smalls ever killed a rat?
No. No. He's killed a cockroach.
I love that. I love when cats kill bugs.
The cat I had growing up used to kill things in our yard all the time. One time, Blizzard, my childhood cat, killed a vole.
That's crazy. That's a big kill.
Yeah. He did murder. He was good at murder.
Yeah, damn.
When we moved that was in Montana. When we moved to Arizona, he liked to put a lizard in his mouth, come into the house, and then go, bah, and the lizard would come running out. It was very funny.
Aw, he wanted to give you a gift.
Yeah, brought treats. But then there was a lizard in the house, so that wasn't good.
I don't like that. I would always get freaked out by lizards in the house.
I'm like, why are you in here? Go outside. You live outside.
I'm a little... Get away from me! And it freaks me out to the point where I just, like, leave the room. And then if I come back and it's not there, I'm, like, out of sight, out of mind.
I'm pretty chill with creatures, except for cockroaches. I'm pretty creature chill.
I'm not a big fan of creatures.
Hmm.
In 1986, Chester Cheetah was created by Brad Morgan, who art directed the commercials and designed the character, as well as Stephen Kane, who wrote the original scripts for the television commercials. Chester was introduced as this, like, sly, smooth cheetah, and he started to star in the commercials and eventually became the official Cheetos mascots. He has had several slogans over time, his original ones being, "It's not easy being cheesy," and "The cheese that goes crunch," that he used from 1986 to 1997, and then starting in 1977 onward, his slogan became, "Dangerously cheesy." Dangerously.
I don't think I like any of those.
I like "It's not easy being cheesy."
That's my favorite one for sure. I guess for me now that feels cheesy. But if they were the ones who coined it, that's cool.
They were.
That's awesome. So I like that one. I think they got worse with no, because the cheese that crunches feels like a riddle.
It does.
Yeah.
Dangerously cheesy, I just don't get, because why would I want to eat something that's dangerous?
It's like, why is it dangerous? Are there like swords in it?
If you eat so much cheese, you will die.
Is there C4 bomb in every bag?
From the mid-1980s to the early 2000s, television commercials would often feature Chester's desperate attempts to eat other people's Cheetos, very reminiscent of, like, the Trix Bunny type of commercials, where he sees some fucking Cheetos, and he wants those goddamn Cheetos, and then other people will not let him eat those Cheetos, because we live in a world that's not fair.
Because Trix are for kids, and Cheetos are for kids.
I guess. Sometimes in the commercials, he calls himself a hip kitty, and I really like that. And often in these commercials, he'll speak in rhyme, and he'll sneak up on an unsuspecting stranger, like at a beach or at a park, to try to get their Cheetos. But then there will be some kind of, like, cartoon violence in the vein of Looney Tunes, like he rides a motorcycle off a bridge, or he gets thrown off of a building, or he plunges miles into the air and then he grabs, like, a hang glider, and then the hang glider is, like, a beautiful woman, but then he's like, "No, I want the Cheetos," like, just, like, shit like that. Some of the commercials were directed by David Feiss, who created Cow and Chicken, which we've also talked about on this podcast.
Oh,
yeah. And I feel like I do get that vibe with a lot of these commercials. I'm going to send you one to watch, because I find him delightful. I think Chester Cheetah he's my favorite of these.
There's an allure, as Aubrey says.
There is an allure.
I can't believe you're making me open my very stressful text messages again.
Okay, for reference, one of my text messages is my mom being like, "Come home this weekend to see your dying grandpa."
Yeah, I know. I'm being dramatic. There's a reason I'm not saying what I'm stressed out about.
Well, which, by the way, my mom texts me that, and then I'm like, "Yes, I would love to come home," and then she doesn't reply.
His head's so big.
It is.
It's a very large head. In this commercial, Cheetah's like, I'm just a cool dude in a chill mood until I see some Cheetos, and then I get a little freaky, and then he dives out the window, and the sidewalk opens up, and he dives through the sidewalk underground, basically. And then we get both slogans, because he says it's not easy being cheesy, and then the announcer goes, the Cheetos, the cheese, that crunch.
Yes. I just think that I would like to embody the Chester Cheetah energy, because there's just something, he's got a swagger, and I love that.
I don't know why, but for some reason his proportions in that commercial really freaked me out to the point that when it started and he started moving, I got a little scared.
I'm like, I'd fuck it.
Oh.
Chester has starred in 2 video games that were produced for the Sega Genesis and the Super NES, or SNES. They are Chester Cheetah, Too Cool to Fool in 1992, and Chester Cheetah, Wild Wild Quest in 1993. So Chester Cheetah, Too Cool to Fool is the 1992 video game release, and both of these games were only released in North America. So this first one, Too Cool to Fool, was basically like side-scrolling platform levels, and on each level there's a hidden scooter part, and Chester can dash and stun enemies by jumping on their heads, and basically you try to get the little scooter part. Interestingly, no mention of Cheetos in the game.
That's not important.
Not important at all, which I think is a missed branding opportunity.
Well, but like you're still playing the Cheeto game.
I guess, but I feel like
it actually makes it like, I feel like maybe they were trying to detach it from the brand a little bit.
I think they were trying to, in the 90s, spin Chester Cheetah off into being like a character separate from Cheetos, and I'll explain more about that.
Do you feel like the Kool-Aid Man has more in common with Chester Cheetah or Tony the Tiger?
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like Kool-Aid Man is like in the middle of both of them. Mm-hmm. I think that Kool-Aid Man is smoking a blunt with Chester Cheetah, and Tony the Tiger is like, I'm good. I gotta do
Tony the Tiger.
No!
I'm
just saying that he is so focused on his gains, he's not gonna, like, smoke a little weed, and... Because then he's gonna eat too much, and that's gonna, like, freak him out, because he has body dysmorphia.
What's going on in the second Cheeto game?
So, the second Chester Cheetah game is Wild Wild Quest in 1994, and that one is, the plot of that game is that after breaking out of a zoo, so Chester Cheetah canonically is enslaved.
Sorry, Aubrey, explain that comment.
Because he's breaking out of a zoo? His confines?
Do you think zoo animals are enslaved?
Well, they're not free. Can they leave?
That doesn't mean that they're enslaved.
Do they get paid?
What would they do with money?
Buy goods and services?
What would a bear buy?
Charmin?
I don't think the bear wants Charmin, I'll be honest.
That one tickled you, though. I saw a little grin on your face because you saw what I was building, too.
Yeah, okay. To be clear, I don't think zoo animals are enslaved.
You hate me today. That's the energy.
No, today I don't hate you. You yelled at me and said my cereal choices were gross.
And you're telling me zoo animals aren't enslaved, and that's worse.
What? Because they're not! Hey, Aubrey, I will not denigrate the atrocity of slavery by comparing it to what's happening with zoo animals.
There were human zoos. There are pictures of little Filipino children.
Thing. We're not talking about human zoos. We're talking about animal zoos.
Excuse me.
We're talking about. Listen, I think a lot of zoos. I mean, obviously there are bad zoos, but there's a lot of zoos doing a lot of good work to keep animals safe, because a lot of animals need to be kept safe, and there are species that are going extinct, and zoos are doing a lot of good conservation work. And don't let the man Aubrey get you down by her saying that Chester Cheetah was enslaved at the zoo.
All right, well, I am also pro zoo. But in the game, Chester Cheetah, Too Cool to Fool, it begins with him breaking out of the zoo.
Oh, wait. Is this Too Cool to Fool, or is this Wild Wild Quest?
Oh, sorry, this is Wild Wild Quest.
Okay.
Yeah, so in Wild Wild Quest, he breaks out of the zoo, and he's going to Hip City, when Mean Eugene tears up his map into 10 pieces and scatters it across the United States. So then he has to travel across the United States to recover his map, which is kind of crazy because he needs the map to get to Hip City, but then he doesn't have a map, and yet he travels over the entire United States to get the pieces of the map also, so that he can get to Hip City.
Is it clear what Hip City is? Because that's not a real
None of the places he goes to are real. He goes to fictional cities in, like, Florida, Alabama, like, in the game. He doesn't go to real cities. So it doesn't even teach you, like, geography.
I'm pissed.
Well, you would probably agree with GamePro Magazine's review of the game, which called it high on the list of unnecessary sequels, and said, like the cheese puffs themselves, Chester might sound like a tempting idea, but you'll get no nourishment, and you'll soon be hungry again.
Wait. So does that mean if it's a sequel, that at the end of the events of the Too Cool to Fool, he got placed into a zoo, and then he broke out?
And you're telling me that that's not enslavement?
No, it's not. That still wouldn't be enslavement.
What do you call it? Imprisonment?
Yeah, that would be the word I would use for that.
All right, well, we might have to cut this whole thing because I might be racist. This is gonna be a 5-minute episode. Somehow the fucking Chester Cheetah episode becomes the episode that is the most racially charged.
I wasn't even bringing there. What?
This
is the part I'm gonna have to cut.
Anyway, in 1992, Chester was going to have a TV show called Yo! It's the Chester Cheetah Show for Fox Kids' Saturday morning fall lineup. But an ethics debate erupted over Chester's status as an advertising character, and so the Action for Children's Television group protested the show, and it was prevented from airing. Their petition was the first time that organization had ever protested something before it actually even became a program. Their whole thing was that if they thought that there were shows on TV that were, like, bad for children, they'd be like, fuck you, we want this shit off the air. But then for the Chester Cheetah show, they were like, we don't even want this shit on the air to begin with, you piece of shit.
Is there any, like, I'm trying to think, is there anything, like, examples of something that started as an advertisement and then became, like, a regular, like, TV character? I can't... Maybe it was Popeye? I don't know. I actually can't think of an example. This is not important, but I was just trying to think if there was an example of, like, a character that crossed over from being a commercial character to being, like, a mainstream character. Was Popeye an advertisement first? I feel like maybe.
I mean, the only thing I can think, like, I think other brands have tried to do this. I don't think any have been successful, because I think of, like, the Ronald McDonald DVDs I watched as a kid, which we're gonna have to fucking watch those at some point, because I feel like I reference those every goddamn day.
I remember the McDonald's ones are the ones I remember the most.
Oh, maybe G.I. Joe. No, that's not.
Because
really.
it was like a toy. Because I mean, that's the thing with like Strawberry Shortcake has been like, there's lots of things that have been like Polly Pocket, Barbie, those kinds of things that like were a toy. But I was thinking more like specifically like an entity that didn't physically exist. And I can't really think of one. Yeah,
well, I think part of it is because people are uncomfortable with, like, brands becoming mainstream.
Yeah.
Because it still is, I mean, it's just advertising.
Because then it's inherently still an advertisement for that thing, yeah.
I think we have the opposite of that, like how we've talked about the Flintstones and, like, Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles, where those kind of went from being mainstream media to basically being brand mascots now.
Yeah, totally.
I did find a 2019 petition on change.org for someone to try to make this series happen. It has not. Nickelodeon has said no.
Yeah.
Chester Cheetah, basically, his design has stayed pretty much the same. He got a slight revamp in 1997 when he started appearing in, like, live-action animated hybrid ads where he would go into the real world, and they sort of changed his character a little bit, where rather than being, I guess, kind of antagonistic and, like, lusting for the Cheetos, he just became more, like, suave and cool, and he would just, like, eat Cheetos and just, like, be cool. Just like me.
Of course.
Because I eat Cheetos and I'm cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Chester Cheetah... so I'm going to ask you a question. Did you ever play Spy Fox?
No.
What? So there were these educational, like, entertainment, I guess they weren't even really that educational, but there were these games when I was a kid called Spy Fox, and it was just like, it was just like a James Bond parody game for, like, 8-year-olds, and it was like a point-and-click adventure game.
I kind of remember... This is like jogging a memory.
I always thought that Spy Fox was hot, and I feel like that's why I think Chester Cheetah's hot.
He does have a prominent nose.
I love a man with a prominent nose. Good old snoot. And last, we're going to talk about Toucan Sam. So, Toucan Sam is the cartoon toucan mascot for Fruit Loops breakfast cereal. Fruit Loops are fruit-flavored cereal pieces that are ring-shaped, and they come in a variety of bright colors. And contrary to popular belief, Fruit Loops are all the same flavor. Some people will try to say that Fruit Loops are different flavors for different colors. They are not. They are all the same flavor.
Can I say I hate that?
Okay. I think it would be gross if they were all different flavors.
Yeah, you're right. I immediately take my opinion back.
Well, like, have you ever met someone who just, like, will eat a handful of Skittles?
Yeah.
I hate, like, how are you mixing them like that?
I mean, I can't, but that, I think, might be the autism. I, like, organize my Skittles, so then Okay.
Do you also have a specific Skittle, or I also have a specific Skittles organizing system?
I organize all the Skittles, and then I count them in their groups, and then I eat them so that then by the end, I have one left of each color. So if I have, like, more orange than anything else, I'm going to eat all the orange until I have the same amount as... You know what I mean? Like, it has to trickle down from the biggest numbers to the smallest numbers.
Hey, you know what's crazy? I do the exact same shit, dude. I do the exact same shit, and I have a special order I eat them in. So what I do is I dump them all out, sort them by color, and then I take 3 out from each color, and then I eat the remaining in the order that I prefer, which is yellow, orange, green, purple, red, and then I eat the little 3 pieces in that order.
Is red your favorite Skittles flavor?
Yes. I eat them in order from least to most favorite.
I think yellow is my favorite.
Yellow is my least favorite. I never like yellow. Yellow or orange. I'm not a big, like, citrus fan in general.
I don't really like purple or green things. Especially, a huge tragedy in my life was when the Skittles went from being lime to being green apple. It was so upsetting for me.
See, and I'm the opposite, because then when they went back to lime, I was like, why the fuck do you do that? Now you have 3 citrus flavors.
My least favorite of the Jolly Ranchers is
I like green is always, like, my 3rd favorite, because I like blue is always my number 1 if there's ever blue, and then red, then purple, then green. So Toucan Sam has been in advertisements since 1963. He was created by Manuel R. Vega, and the character was originally voiced by actor Mel Blanc.
Finally a normal name in this episode. Good for Manuel. That is the first, like, normal name we have had this whole episode.
Yeah, just a normal guy.
Just a normal guy, Manuel Vega. Jesus.
Created Toucan Sam.
Good for him.
He was originally voiced by actor Mel Blanc, who, without looking it up, I'm pretty sure is the guy who voiced Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, you're right.
Hell yeah. And Mel Blanc originally would use, like, pig Latin in the commercials, so he'd refer to the Fruit Loop cereal as Oot Frey Oopsley. The ad agency was like, we don't like that. And so they were like, why are you doing that? And they switched him to a British accent, and pretty much ever since then, Toucan Sam has been English. The main thing with Toucan Sam is that he's got the ability to smell Fruit Loops from great distances, and invariably locates a concealed bowl of Fruit Loops, and then he says one of his catchphrases, which are usually something to the effect of, like, follow your nose, it always knows. Sometimes he'll say something like, the flavor of fruit, wherever it grows, which is fine. I think Toucan Sam's cute. He's a little cutie pie. I like that he likes his Fruit Loops.
You know, they like to make birds smart in commercials.
They do.
They like to make birds smart. I don't know why.
I think birds are smart in general.
No, I know. They are, but it's just funny. It's funny that that's, like, a trope. Is that, like, birds are, like, smart guys.
Just like how bunnies are sexy.
Sure.
Bunnies are sexy women. Birds are smart men.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules.
I do.
Since 1994, Toucan Sam has been joined on screen by his nephews, Pewee, Susie, and I'm assuming they're saying it's Louie, but it could also be Louis. So I don't know if they're doing like a cutesy Pewee, Susie, and Louie, or if they're being like, if they're trying to like twist it on its head and be like Pewee, Susie, and Louis.
These are his
because
nephews?
They're never referred to by name.
Let's see. I'm gonna watch one with them in it. Is that okay?
Yes. His nephews are voiced by Frank Weller and Jim Cummings, who's the voice of Winnie the Pooh.
I love his nephews. I love them. They're so cute.
They're absolutely precious.
Wait, they're so cute.
Unlike the children on Chopped, these are children I like on TV.
No, they're so cute. They all had little, like, aviator caps on in the commercial.
Very cute. Do you remember
They were learning to fly.
Oh, that's really cute, actually. I didn't see that one.
Do you want to see it when we send it to you?
Sure. Now I get to watch it. Yeah, like, different things to unpack there. So, number one, I missed the era of animation when everything was trying to look like a Disney animated movie, because it just looks so charming, and Toucan Sam literally looks like a Disney character in that commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I find it so interesting that in that commercial, they really emphasize, like, it has a lot of vitamin C.
Yeah.
Fruit Loops, you're candy, and that's fine, but don't pretend you're not candy.
Yeah, but that's not gonna make parents buy it.
It did, apparently.
Well, that's what I mean. But them saying it's like them saying it's candy. If they were like, we're candy, it wouldn't make parents buy it. Them saying it's full of vitamin C is gonna make a parent buy it.
That's what's interesting to me. Is like, did people really think that cereal was like good for you? I guess so.
Probably. People think bananas are full of potassium, and they're not.
They're not. Leafy greens like spinach have more potassium.
Yeah.
My mom is potassium deficient.
Good for sure.
I know. So, in 2020, Toucan Sam got quite literally the worst redesign I've ever seen. I say this, I looked at it again, and I was like, it's not as horrible as I remember, but at the time, I was deeply offended. So you can just look up, like, Toucan Sam 2020 redesign.
Okay. I don't remember this. Why did they do that to my boy?
They massacred our boy.
He looks so stupid.
Yeah.
It looks like someone did it in... Sorry. This is not nice to the animator, but it looks like it was done in MS Paint.
Yeah, like, it literally just looks like a, like... I don't know. It looks like one of the shitty Cartoon Network cartoons.
Right, like I was gonna say it looks like a bad version of the animation in Steven Universe.
Yeah, or like fucking Uncle Grandpa or whatever. Like, just a dumbass show.
Yeah, like it doesn't. They took away his sparkle.
Yeah, they redesigned him again, and he basically looks the same as he did before, but he's got more colors on his little bill.
They made him gayer. That's fine.
They made him a little gayer. And that's alright. I think Toucan Sam is really cute. I think he, in my Marry Fuck Kill, yeah, unfortunately I'm never gonna beat the allegations, because I think I'm gonna marry Toucan Sam, fuck the shit out of Chester Cheetah, and I am killing Tony the Tiger with a gun.
I think you know what my answer to this is.
Are you gonna marry Tony the Tiger?
No!
Okay. What is your answer?
I'm gonna marry Toucan Sam, I'm gonna kill Chester Cheetah, and I'm gonna have sex with Tony the Tiger.
That's crazy.
No, it's not.
I guess.
Only one of these characters did I watch the commercial of and get genuinely scared, and that was Chester Cheetah. Also, we did not talking about flaming hot Cheetos and how I do not understand the appeal.
Oh, me neither. I am not a hot chip girl.
I'm not a hot chip guy. We both love spicy food. That flavor for me does nothing, and people are like crazy addicted to things like Takis and Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and every time I have one, I'm like, this just tastes bad.
They're always too acidic, and so They just taste like that thing. They don't even really taste spicy to me. It just tastes like a lime chip.
Yeah, and I'm not a big tortilla chip with a hint of lime person either.
I'm not.
And so I just every time someone's like, oh my god, Flaming Hot Cheetos, I'm like, that's so great for you. I don't understand why, like to the point that like. There are people who like literally in their like Hinge profiles talk about how much they like Takis, and I'm like, huh? I just don't get it. I don't get it, man.
It's like how people who are really into like Diet Coke make it like their whole personality. Like that's like how like hot Cheeto and Taki people are.
Yeah. And like I love a Diet Coke, but it's a beverage.
Maybe Dr. Pepper. I feel like Dr. Pepper fans are more in your face about it.
Yeah, but
the Diet Coke people are more in your face about it.
Oh, Diet Coke people are way more in your face about it. But the people who are the most in your face about it are the people who prefer Pepsi to Coke, and they're like, that's actually just better. And I'm like, what if I stab you with scissors?
That's literally Josh, though, because Costco has decided that they're changing their beverages to Coke products instead of Pepsi, and he's devastated.
Yep. Sorry.
His favorite drink is a Diet Pepsi. I don't drink soda.
Love you, Addison Rae.
So now I want to talk a little bit about some of the controversy around these characters. I picked these three because these three specifically oftentimes get targeted and cited as examples of this, I don't know, trend that I want to illustrate. They're often used as examples as mascots that have been banned in certain countries. So like Chile, Peru, Argentina, and Mexico have all banned certain brand mascots from being featured on packaging. There's one article that I saw that stated that consumption of sugar-sweetened drinks dropped 25% in the 18 months after Chile specifically adopted these regulations. And those regulations included taking the brand mascots off of those packages and also having this, like, octagon front of package warning label that's like, this is bad for you, as well as also banning the sale of those items in schools. So that's where I'm kind of like grain of salt with a lot of this, because people try to make this argument of like, kids love these cartoon characters, and when you take the cartoon characters off, they don't consume these products. And it's like, okay, well, also part of your intervention was like, you're no longer selling them in schools, which is where children spend most of their day.
Right.
So it would make sense that the consumption is going down.
Yeah.
There was a study by a coalition called the Action on Sugar in Children's Food campaign in the UK. And
people love the word action.
They love it. Because they're motivated. They're doing shit. They're doing shit about sugar.
Yeah.
They found that 51% of the 526 child-friendly food and drink products that they assessed that had popular cartoon characters on their packaging were high in sugar, saturated fat, salt, and fat, with only 18 quote-unquote healthy products such as fruit, vegetables, and water using child-friendly cartoons on the packaging. Like, again, a lot of this I'm, like, so unsurprised by. I just feel like this is such, like, a nothing burger thing, but a lot of people feel very strongly about this, and, like, that specific article, or that specific coalition in the UK basically put out this statement where they were, like, using cartoons that appeal to children on advertising is irresponsible, and they are calling for a blanket ban on brand-generated characters in general, especially of licensed TV and film characters that are used to promote foods that are high in fat, sugar, or salt. I tried to look up, like, actual empirical evidence on this topic, because there's this assumption that cartoon mascots are predatory to children, but research on this topic is actually quite scarce. So I looked up there was one article that I found that was a systematic review called Influence of Food Companies' Brand Mascots and Entertainment Companies' Cartoon Media Characters on Children's Diet and Health, a Systematic Review and Research Needs. That was published in 2014 in the journal Obesity Reviews. And basically,
the Journal of Obesity.
And basically, they suggest that familiar media character branding appears to be a powerful influence on children's preferences, choices, and intake of less healthy foods. So I'm just going to explain really quickly what a systematic review is. So we often hear terms like systematic review and meta-analysis used together. Both of those methods are sort of similar in that what they're doing is compiling research that's been done on a specific topic. And when you do a meta-analysis, you're basically aggregating all of that information to say, like, hey, we found 50 articles about depression and sleep, and we took all the information from those 50 articles, and here is what are, like, the findings overall, like, when you put all of these studies together. So they're very rigorous statistical analyses. A systematic review is not as statistically rigorous, because essentially systematic review is just saying, here are a bunch of articles we found on this topic, and usually it's just a synthesis of, you know, here are the trends that we've noticed, but they're not actually doing the, like, analytic component that a meta-analysis would have. So what this article did was they did a systematic review of studies that were published between the year 2000 and 2014, 2014 that examined how licensed media characters like SpongeBob affect kids under 12. And so basically, they found 11 different experimental studies using 21 different popular media characters and did not include brand mascots. They could not find articles that were about brand mascots specifically. So some of the key findings that they summarize are that, in these 11 experimental studies that they looked at, using familiar cartoon characters sometimes increased kids' eating of fruits and vegetables compared to when there were no characters on the packaging. The same characters had an even stronger influence on preferences, choices, and intake of quote-unquote junk foods, often more powerful than their effect on quote-unquote healthy foods. So basically, they looked at these 11 articles, and what they found is that for most of them, having a cartoon on the packaging made kids want an apple, versus if there wasn't a cartoon character on the apple. But that effect was stronger if it was a bag of chips versus a bag of chips without a cartoon character on it. Again, I think it's interesting to think about, but I also just I don't know. I hate to say I don't know if it's that serious, but I don't know if it's that serious.
I have two thoughts on this. I think there is a huge difference between the SpongeBob Kraft mac and cheese versus the existence of the Rice Krispies elves.
Mm-hmm.
In that when you see a special version of a product with a cartoon character who you know and love, I think that is probably going to have a greater effect on your wanting of it. Because all these kids who I work with love Frozen. They love Frozen. They love Elsa. And so if Elsa's on something, they're probably going to see it and want it. And so that to me is different than brand mascots. The second thing is it's interesting to say the whole thing about whether putting Randy the worm on some sort of brand of apples would make if we started putting Randy the worm in a bunch of Gala apple commercials, would affection for Randy the worm make kids more interested in eating apples? I don't know. I kind of don't think so, because I think it's just the kids like the sweet taste of the sugary cereal product more than they care about the little guy. But what I will say is I was someone who really liked the Trix commercials as a kid, and that did make me want Trix yogurt. Mm-hmm. But that's because I like the bunny. I don't know. And so I do think there probably is some, if you like a commercial, but that's also because the Trix commercials were good. And that probably would still work on me as an adult. Because when the commercials are good, I'm more likely to want something. And when commercials suck, I'm less likely to want something. And so I think it's hard when they're kids because they have less media literacy and are less able to discern between those things. But I don't know. I kind of tend to agree with you that I think that it's probably less serious than that. And the fact that we haven't seen this influx of Randy the cow advertising broccoli probably is demonstrative of the fact that just smacking a cute cartoon character on something is not what's motivating kids to want thing. It's the combination of the product tasting good and artificial and whatever with the funny cartoon mascot.
Well, that's what I think is interesting, is I think a lot of brands are aware of this criticism, and so they're moving away from these mascots being central in advertising in these things for children. So I think we are seeing less Chester Cheetah and Tony Tiger featured prominently in commercials, but I also think we're seeing more of Elsa, Frozen shaped mac and cheese.
Yeah.
And those brand licensing deals, which I think is fascinating, because when you think about these brands, right, they want to appeal to the international market. And so why feature Tony the Tiger prominently in your advertisements if Tony the Tiger can't be featured on packaging in Mexico?
That's just so odd to me. That's so odd to me. But I think it's also hard because we're 100% coming at this from the cultural context of two people who were raised in the United States. Mm-hmm. And also two people who were raised during the era where I don't know, I was I don't know about you, I was just kind of allowed to watch TV. There was no, like, I didn't get screen time when I was a kid. I just got to watch TV.
Yeah, I had unmonitored, unlimited screen time.
That's something that's interesting to me. Sorry, this is kind of a little bit of a tangent, but I'll wrap it around. Like, obviously, like, the iPad babies and stuff is not good, and, like, kids should go outside and touch grass. But I think it's, like, weirdly enough, like, because of the more availability of the ways that kids can consume screens, the need for this, like, screen time thing has happened. Whereas, like, when I was a kid, like, I could watch TV whenever the hell I wanted to, but I still wanted to go outside. And so I'm curious. I would be curious to know, and I'm sure there's research on it, like, what is making it so that, like, kids would rather be on screens than go outside. Wrapping it back around to the thing about these cartoon advertisements is, like, I still think, despite all of my TV watching as a child, I'm hard pressed to say that my desire for, like, Frosted Flakes as a kid, my older brother loved Frosted Flakes. That was, like, our like, treat cereal for sure, and, like, we would have it. Like, I don't think that was because we thought Tony the Tiger was cool. I think it's because Frosted Flakes taste good. Mm-hmm. But, you know, obviously there's a reason why these brands were so attached to these mascots, and why we're doing an 1.5 hour long podcast talking about them is because they, like, are effective tools of advertising. But I think it's less than, I don't know. I don't think it's worth banning these mascots.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. Like, I don't think we have a bunch of, like, Chester Cheetah stans out there,
right,
who are like, I'm throwing my life away so that I can just eat Cheetos all the time. What I think that is happening with is, like, the parasocial relationship with YouTubers, but,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's just, like, a little odd to me for, like, this to be the hill to die on. Just because, like, I don't know, I'm hard-pressed to think of a cereal that is more geared towards children than adults that doesn't have some sort of, like, cartoon mascot. But then I also think of, like, you know, like, Rice Chex doesn't really have, like, a cartoon mascot, but, like, Raisin Bran does. Raisin Bran has that big ass sun, and Raisin Bran is certainly something that is, you know, geared more towards adults than it is towards kids. And so I think that, like,
or even, like, Cheerios, that little bee.
Yeah, the Honey Nut Cheerios bee. And I think that part of that was an attempt to, like, partially move Honey Nut Cheerios towards kids because it's like the sweeter version.
Yeah.
But I just still I don't know. I don't know so much about this is just not a place that I work in by any means. And so, like, when it comes to media, like, advertising is probably the place that I have, like, the least amount of insight into. But it kind of just feels like the thing to do for a long time with cereal was to have some sort of cartoon mascot. And like, while that was probably a bit to appeal to kids, it just, I don't know, doesn't feel like that can be the whole reason. It felt like, because it just kind of became industry standard in some ways.
That's what I think. And then I think it's interesting that the industry is moving away from it. And I mean, this goes back to what I was saying at the very beginning about how, like, 4 brands own all of our food.
Yeah.
It's like there's no, like, new cereals necessarily. Like, there's no new brands that are kind of coming up. I mean, I think that you have this rise of, like, Magic Spoon.
I was about to go Magic Spoon.
And, like, Catalina Crunch. But those, I think, are a little different because they're marketed as, like, a treat for adults.
Yeah.
And I even think cereal in general now is not necessarily a market that's, like, for children. Because I think a lot of, like, millennial parents are not giving their children cereal. So I think cereal is starting to, like, rebrand as more of, like, a nostalgia treat for people our age than, like, part of a balanced breakfast for children.
Yeah, because I've been seeing kids' lunch boxes all week. And, like, to be fair, like, most of the kids I'm interacting with are, like, from Brooklyn, and they have Brooklyn millennial parents, but they all have, like, small packages of olives in their lunch, you know?
Oh my god, little charcuteries?
They all have go-go squeezes and little like grass-fed jerky sticks and cut up, I mean, and it's like, you know, some of them still have, like, little sandwiches and cut up fruit and stuff like that. But, like, today it really floored me to see the little individual snack pack of olives that I opened for one of these kids.
That's very funny. That's very sweet. For, like, what, like a 5-year-old?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
So funny.
And it's like, but it's like, that's one thing that I've noticed, like, now, when I've worked all these, like, camps and stuff, like, a lot of their snacks are, like, these, like, little pre-packaged, like, things that are geared towards being healthy snacks for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, on the packaging of those, I don't think that, like, the little olives don't have little characters.
No, most of them don't. Go-Go Squeezes have, like, little guys on them. They have, like, the little apples on them, and kids love the Go-Go Squeeze. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, it's. I think it is, you know, I feel like what the new trend in advertising has been is that, like, trying to appeal to parents.
Yeah.
And trying to get parents to pick things for their kids, as opposed to have kids see, like, a sick-ass Danimals commercial and really want a Danimals. But I also think that also comes from that, like, you know, we talk about this a lot with, like, movies, how there's, like, less children's movies coming out years and years and years. It's also true of, like, I think that, like, children's television is sort of, has really narrowed and winnowed down in a lot of ways, and, like, there's just less space to advertise to kids in that way. And when I watch kids content on, like, YouTube for work, like, it's usually not, like, because I think you can't be like I think when you advertise for kids on YouTube, it has to be like other educational content. You can't, like, advertise Go-Gurt on YouTube on kids content.
Well, and these are, like, Gen Alpha kids, right? And Gen Alpha, I think, is set to be one of the smallest cohorts compared to other generations.
Yeah.
And I can see how that's reflected in advertising, right? Because they're then less of the market share. So why really bother, especially if millennials are not having children as much? Like, you don't even really necessarily need to market to millennial parents, capitalize on, like, Gen Z and millennial singles.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, and, like, these things, like the little single snack packs of olives, like, you know, this 5-year-old will eat them, but so will the parent who needs a snack at work.
I don't know why. I have, like, the cutest mental image in my head of you opening this for this little child and, like, feeding them an olive. I don't know.
Do not feed the child an olive.
I would love to feed a little Brooklyn early child just olives. I would like to do, like, a little, like at the petting zoo. I want a petting zoo, but it's little children from Brooklyn, and I'm giving them all olives. And that's what you're going to get from me if you vote for Aubrey Hoffer as mayor of New York.
Okay.
And that's the episode.
Have a question or a topic that you would like for us to discuss? Send us an email at informedattraction@gmail.com.